If there's one thing that sets naturally attractive men apart from those who constantly struggle, it's this: they understand what not to do. Most advice tells men what they should do: be more confident, impress her, keep her interested. And while those things matter, what's often more crucial are the mistakes you must avoid. Attraction isn't just about making the right moves, it's about not making the wrong ones. Here's where most men go wrong: they assume that trying harder, being extra nice, giving more, or constantly aiming to please will win her over. But in reality, certain behaviors don't just weaken attraction, they erase it entirely. The worst part? Most men don't even realize they're making these mistakes. They wonder why she lost interest, why she pulled away, and why her behavior suddenly changed. But by the time they figure it out, it's already too late. So today, we're cutting through the noise. If you want a woman's respect, desire, and genuine attraction, you must avoid these 5 critical mistakes at all costs. Let's dive in. Thing number 1: never seek validation from her. Validation seeking is one of the biggest attraction killers, yet most men don't even realize they're doing it. It shows up in many ways, constantly needing reassurance. Do you still like me? Are you mad at me? Over-explaining "I just wanted to make sure you didn't misunderstand me," asking for permission to be yourself "is it okay if I say this?" Or fishing for compliments "do you think I'm funny? Am I attractive to you?" At its core, validation seeking stems from insecurity. It places your sense of self-worth in her hands instead of owning it yourself. And here's the hard truth: women don't want to be your emotional caretaker. The moment she feels responsible for making you feel good about yourself, attraction starts to fade. She wants a man who already knows his worth, not someone waiting for her approval to feel like he's enough. So, how do you stop? 1. Detach from her reaction. If you say something funny, don't glance at her for validation. If you make a decision, don't second-guess it based on her response. Stand firm in your choices. 2. Give validation instead of seeking it. Flip the script, observe her, challenge her, and compliment her in a way that acknowledges her depth, not just her looks. 3. Embody confidence, not neediness. True confidence isn't arrogance, it's being secure in yourself, regardless of her approval. A man who doesn't seek validation naturally commands respect, and respect fuels attraction. Thing number 2, never put her on a pedestal. Many men believe that if they treat a woman like a queen, she'll treat them like a king. But in reality, the more you put a woman on a pedestal, the more she looks down on you. Attraction isn't built through worship, it's built through respect. And a woman cannot respect a man who acts as though she's above him. This doesn't mean you should treat her poorly. It means you should treat her as an equal, a human, not a goddess. Because the truth is, she doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants to be challenged, intrigued, and engaged. She wants a man who stands beside her, not beneath her. So how do you stop putting her on a pedestal? 1. Don't overcompliment. If you constantly tell her how amazing she is, those words will lose their meaning. Compliments should be earned and rare to hold their power. 2. Have your own life. A man who worships a woman often does so because he has nothing else going for him. Get busy. Have goals. Build a purpose beyond her. 3. Set boundaries. If she's being disrespectful, call it out. If she's acting entitled, don't tolerate it. A woman respects a man who stands his ground and enforces his standards. Attraction isn't about fantasy, it's about authenticity. A woman doesn't fall for a man because he worships her. She falls for him because he makes her feel something real. Thing number 3, never let her control the relationship. A woman will test you, and not out of manipulation or cruelty, but to understand who you truly are. She will challenge your patience, your confidence, and your ability to stand firm. If you falter, she will lose respect for you. The worst mistake a man can make is allowing a woman to dictate the course of the relationship. This happens when you agree with everything just to keep the peace, let her make all the decisions out of fear of upsetting her, or apologize unnecessarily. A woman doesn't want to lead, she wants to trust. Leadership isn't about control, it's about direction. A man who knows his path and stands strong in it earns a woman's trust. But if you surrender that role to her, she will eventually resent you for it. Thing number 4, never be afraid to walk away. Nothing kills attraction faster than a man who is afraid to lose a woman. The moment a man fears losing her, he compromises himself, tolerates disrespect, and accepts situations that drain him, all just to keep her around. But here's the paradox: the man who fears losing her the least is the one who keeps her the longest. Why? Because she knows he's not with her out of desperation, he's with her by choice. A man who stays because he wants to, not because he needs to, is a man who commands respect. And respect is the foundation of all attraction. The cost of fear. When a man is afraid of losing a woman, becomes overly agreeable, stops enforcing boundaries, accepts disrespect to keep the peace. In doing so, he communicates something dangerous, that his self-worth is tied to her presence. And women don't want to be your purpose, they don't want to feel like they're the glue holding you together. They want to know that you'd be just fine with or without them. Why walking away is powerful. Walking away isn't about playing games or making her chase you. It's about self-respect. When a man walks away, he's saying, I have standards. I have boundaries. And if they're not met, I'm gone. This triggers something powerful in a woman's psychology. Most men will tolerate bad behavior, bend over backward, and accept less than they deserve just to keep her around. But a man who can walk away? That's a man who has options. And a man with options is naturally attractive. The psychological effect of walking away. Women are instinctively drawn to men who value themselves. If you can't walk away from a situation that doesn't serve you, you're telling her: 1. You don't believe you can do better. 2. You are emotionally dependent on her. 3. You will tolerate anything to keep her. None of these qualities inspire attraction. In fact, they do the opposite. But when you walk away, you send a completely different message. You don't need her, you choose her. You have standards, and you enforce them. You are not afraid to lose her. And that's what keeps her interested. When to walk away. 1. When she disrespects you. Disrespect can be subtle or obvious. Whether she dismisses your opinions, mocks your ambitions, or constantly tests your patience, the moment you tolerate it, you teach her that it's acceptable. 2. When she plays mind games, if she's hot and cold, stringing you along, or making you feel uncertain about where you stand, leave. These are power plays, not love. 3. When she loses interest, if she pulls away, treats you like an option, or stops putting in effort, match her energy and walk. Never beg for attention. If she values you, she'll feel your absence. How to walk away like a man. 1. Don't announce it, just do it. Weak men create drama or say things like, "You'll regret this." Strong men simply disappear. 2. Make it about you, not her. You're not walking away to punish her. You're walking away because you refuse to stay where you're not valued. 3. Never look back. The biggest mistake men make is walking away, then checking in, texting, or hoping she comes back. If you walk for good. Final truth. A man who can walk away is a man who values his self-respect over temporary comfort. And that, the ability to stand firm in his worth, is the kind of man a woman never wants to lose. Thing number 5, never be inconsistent with who you are. Women are drawn to certainty, not the kind that stems from arrogance or false bravado, but the kind that comes from a man who knows himself. A man who doesn't waver, shift, or mold himself to fit someone else's expectations. A man who is inconsistent, who says one thing but does another, who changes depending on who he's with, will always lose a woman's respect. Deep down, she's looking for something solid, a foundation that doesn't crack under pressure. A man's presence must not dissolve when challenged. No matter where he is or who he's with, he must remain himself. Most men fail this test without even realizing it. They think they're being adaptable, reading the room, but in reality, they are just shifting to avoid conflict, to be liked. Every time they adjust their personality to please someone else, they lose a little of their authenticity, and that is the fastest way to kill attraction. Women are wired to seek stability in a partner. Not just financial stability or social status, but something far deeper, emotional and psychological stability. Biologically speaking, a woman's survival, especially in ancient times, depended on choosing a man she could trust. A man who would stand firm in danger, who wouldn't crack under stress, who wouldn't say one thing and do another. So, when a man is inconsistent, when his moods shift unpredictably, when his words don't match his actions, when he acts one way in public and another in private, her instincts tell her he is unsafe. She may not even consciously realize it, but she'll start pulling away. She'll test him more. She'll feel less and less drawn to him. Not because he's a bad guy, but because he isn't solid. How inconsistency kills attraction. It makes her question who you really are. If you're always changing, she can never trust that what you're showing her is the real you. She'll start doubting your words, second-guessing your intentions, and ultimately losing interest. It signals weakness, not adaptability. A strong man can adjust to different situations without losing himself. He can be fun at a party, serious in a meeting, and comforting to a friend, all while remaining the same person at his core. But a man who changes completely depending on his environment appears weak, like someone who needs external approval to function. It makes her feel unsafe. If one day you love deep conversations, but the next you act like you don't care about anything serious. If one moment you talk about commitment and the next you avoid the topic. If you act confident around your friends, but insecure when you're alone with her. She won't know which version of you to trust. And a woman who doesn't trust you can never truly desire you. The power of being unshakable. The most attractive men in history, the ones who left a lasting impression, never bent to fit the world around them. Think of Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, philosopher, and leader. Despite the chaos around him, he remained firm in his principles, never shifting based on public opinion. Or Bruce Lee, he adapted in battle, yes, but at his core, he remained true to his philosophy, his discipline, his essence. Even today, the most magnetic men are the ones who stand their ground, not in an aggressive or stubborn way, but in a way that says, "This is who I am. I will evolve. I will grow. But I will never betray myself." And that is rare. That is powerful. How to stop being inconsistent? Define your values and stick to them. If you don't know what you stand for, you'll fall for anything. Take time to clarify what matters to you, and once you do, don't abandon those values just because a situation gets uncomfortable. Be the same man in all situations. Whether you're with your boss, your best friend, or a woman you're attracted to, be the same person. Adjust your approach when needed, but never adjust your character. Match your words with your actions. If you say you'll do something, do it. If you claim to have a certain mindset, live by it. The moment your actions and words don't align, you lose credibility, and attraction dies. Attraction isn't just about what you do, it's about what you refuse to tolerate. A man who seeks validation, who puts a woman on a pedestal, lets her control the relationship, fears walking away, or is inconsistent, loses respect, loses power, and ultimately loses attraction. But a man who stands firm, who knows his worth, who leads without fear, and who never compromises his self-respect, that's the man she remembers, that's the man she values, that's the man she desires. Because in a world full of men who bend, break, and beg, a man who stands unshaken is rare. So ask yourself, are you the kind of man she remembers? The one she values? The one she desires? Or are you just another man hoping for her approval? The choice is yours. If you found this valuable, subscribe for more insights. Stay strong, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.